What is up, math superstars? In this edition of Mr. Peterson Presents, we're going to be talking about circles. So we're going to talk about finding the circumference and the area of circles. And so just as a review, we need to talk about what this symbol is. So in mathematics, we have a symbol that is called pi. This is actually the ratio of the circumference. So we figure out the edge, the outside of the circle, so the circumference. So it's a ratio over diameter. So it's kind of cool because every circle, when you figure out the circumference, divide it by the diameter, it's going to get you somewhere in the ballpark of 3.14. And so we're going to round it to nearest hundredths place. We're not going to have you write out the number for pi because you're obviously going to be there a very long time. So when we talk about pi, we're going to be using the number 3.14 as our estimate there. So here we go. We got some fill in the blanks here with our circle. So let's start off. We're at this little paragraph. We got a bunch of fill in the blanks. So a circle. So the formal mathematical definition is a set of all the points in a plane that they are the same distance from a given point called the center. And you're like, wait a second, I've been drawing circles since first grade. What happens is, here we have, let's go label our circle here. So we have this middle point. We call this is the center. And we know that this outside edge all the way around, this is called the circumference. And we got some other things we're going to talk about. So the D here stands for the diameter. This is the distance all the way across the circle. The distance all the way across our circle going through the center. And so this whole distance is called the diameter. So you'll see that we will reference the diameter, but we are also going to talk about what the R is. So the R is, it starts at the center point and goes out to the edge. This is called the radius. And so the circumference, so it's a really small blank there, but you can fill it in. Circumference is the distance around the circle. So the circumference of a circle is equal to its diameter times pi. And so our equation, when we're trying to figure out circumference, is going to be the diameter, which is the line all the way across, times pi, which is 3.14. Or if you're given the radius in a problem, you might see it as the circumference is equal to 2 times the radius. So we have, if we look at our radius again, in order to get the diameter, that's going to be 2 of them, times pi. So now let's go ahead and try some problems out here. So example 1 says, find the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 7.5 inches. And we're given this equation right here. C equals pi times diameter. So we're given C is equal to pi times the diameter. So now let's go ahead and fill in some numbers. So our number for pi, we're going to use the decimal 3.14 times our diameter, which is 7.5 centimeters. So our circumference, when we hit this in the calculator, 3.14 times 7.5 gives us about 23.55 centimeters. So we're talking about the distance around that circle is going to be 23.55 centimeters. So now let's try it if we're just given the radius here. So we're saying if the radius, so our R is going to be 14 inches. What is the circumference? So we have our equation, C equals 2 times our radius times pi. So let's go ahead and fill in the numbers here. So we have 2 times our radius is 14 times pi, which is 3.14. Let's go ahead now and in our calculator, 2 times 14 times 3.14 gives us our circumference of 87.92, and we have to add our label there with inches. So now that we just talked about circumference, let's talk about how we find the area, which is going to be the inside of our circle here. So if you want to make a note, the area, this is going to be the inside, and the circumference is the outside. And so we have the area of a circle is equal to the product of pi. So we're going to use our friend here, pi. And then we're going to take our radius and we're going to square the radius. So here's the way this is going to look. So our equation is going to be A is going to be equal to pi. So we know that one is 3.14 times our radius to the power of 2. So we're going to take our radius times our radius times pi. So let's go ahead and get a couple practice in here. So here's example number 1. So we need to find the area of this circle. And so we're given this circle right here. Our radius is equal to 5 centimeters. So let's go ahead and now use our equation. Pi times radius squared. So let's go ahead and fill in our radius is 5 squared times pi is equal to our area. So 5 squared is 25 and pi is 3.14. So when we write this out, our area equals 3.14 times our friend 5 squared here is 25. It is not 10. We have to do 5 times 5. So 25 times 3.14 comes out to our area, the inside of our circle, is 78.5, and our label is centimeters. And so since we did our radius squared, we multiplied centimeters times centimeters, gives us centimeters squared as our label. So now here's example number 2. Let's find the area if the diameter is 12 millimeters. So wait a second, let's take a pause. Right now we don't have an area equation using diameter. So what we have to do, so we're given our diameter is equal to 12 millimeters. That means that our radius is half of 12. So we can say our radius is 6 millimeters. So you have to be careful. Please pause, make a note of it. If it says find the area with the diameter, write your diameter down first, and then cut it in half to find the radius. So now we're ready to use our area equation, which is pi times radius squared. So now let's go in and fill in the parts here. So our friend pi is 3.14 times 6 squared. So when we do our math, area equals 3.14 times 6 squared is not 12, it is 36. So we do 3.14 times 36. I'm doing it right in my calculator. Gives us our area is equal to 113.04. And then we add our label here. So we have millimeters squared.